Hi, my name is Ken Tran. This is my design project Imaginative Play Experience for IAP 462 Games and Play. Let's get started. So what is play? Play is a complex way of expression that goes beyond its standard definition. To understand play, we must know how it comes into our daily lives. From chores, work, to games, these help us understand who we are and how we engage with others. Play is a mode of being human. Being playful is a way of thinking. It can prepare children for roles or activities that they may encounter as adults, be used to examine behaviors in animals, or simply create motivation to get through the day. The opposite of play is not work. Despite work being described as not enjoyable or repetitive, play is a necessity to bring a sense of discovery, bring excitement to a job, or help accomplish difficult tasks. Play is vital when it comes to work, allowing people to be emotionally distant when approaching a problem, thus able to find a solution. Play is a tool used by all species and all ages to provide purpose, knowledge, and happiness. Imaginative play. When a child engages in imaginative play, they enact in four features: intrinsic motivation, the open-mindedness of goals, pleasure seeking, and escape from reality. An active motivation between the player and their environment, the idea that utilizing their environment to their potential and how it may spark creative use. Goals, or a lack thereof, is another mark of imaginative play. How one may construct goals in an activity made for entertainment. Pleasure seeking is asking how the play is used dimensionally. How layered was the experience, and how was the player perceived in the environment? An escape from reality shows how play can be a transversal experience, and how enamored the player in the situation can be interpreted as a defense strategy. Escaping from anxiety or conflict. There are self-healing properties that imaginative play enables. Imaginative play also allows for interests and lessons to become entertaining. School becomes challenging when a student's mind is not being utilized to its fullest potential. Creating hypotheticals and imaginative play to encourage these actions may result in a better experience for the child. Imaginative play is used in many forms by all ages. It is a way to be creative, expressive, and show what the player understands. The folk stories of children. Brian Sutton Smith is a play scholar that focuses on the development of children, utilizing their imaginative play to create stories to understand his theory on what he calls the 7 district rhetorics. This includes fate, power, communal identity, frivolity, modern discourses of progress, the imaginary, and self. These all describe the differences in play and how they are not one and the same, creating a sense of variety in play and how these may play a part in natural selection. In his book, The Folk Stories of Children, Sutton Smith took the stories of children, arranged them by age, and showcased the differences in comprehension and thoughts between each age. By taking these stories, we understand what values children held during that age and allow their creative minds to flow naturally. The beauty of this experiment was to test the mental structure and ask questions such as how we grew up and the limits of the mind between the past and now. One of my favorite stories written was by 10-year-old Natalie, who wrote A Month at the Movies. It depicts two sisters on the run, escaping their parents who stated they were going up for adoption. They leave to go to the movie theaters, eat candy, and watch movies. After then, they reunited with their family. This short story was one of my favorites because it truly shows what kids have in their imagination. I like to think that using our imagination to obtain wishes we cannot normally have satisfied that needs. From the idea of running away from home and sneaking into the candy storage room, these are all things kids either dreamed about or have seen in some media, essentially becoming a realm of the possible. My creative identity in Sutton Smith. All types of play To me, all types of play are valid to me. Play comes in its purest forms when the people you play with. The idea is to be kind, respect others, and enact activities that will have memories to last. To enjoy life every year to its potential and remember the types of play involved. I would like to imagine that play can hold such a special part in our brain to recall back onto no matter what type of play it is. It is said that there's so many different types of play all over the world, from so many different cultures. And these countless memories with one another are something I strive to recreate in my own type of play. Sutton Smith's story showed me the type of experience a child would have when it comes to remembering important play details. The idea is that these children are simply using what they know to make an entertaining story involving many things they already know from existing media. It is this sharing between a child writing down their imaginative thoughts to showcase to adults they love. This sense of veneration is what I love and encourage others to incorporate. Personal imaginative play examples. In my years of growing up, my favorite type of play was imaginative. One of my earliest memories was when I was in elementary school and my two friends would love to play pretend. We wanted to challenge the rules of normality, and thus we pretended to be vampires, fairies, and other supernatural creatures that you could imagine. What was the most interesting case was when we pretended to be superheroes and came up with unique powers. We strived for uniqueness and didn't want mainstream television powers. This game became pretty popular with people, and they would come join us all the time. The issue was being flexible and adapting to each player joining. We had rules about not being godly, that powers were only minor, and we can deem if a power is not usable. To believe that this small imaginative game could expand larger than we imagined, we had to quickly set rules, but still allow those to be creative on their own power. It was a sense of challenge to come up with the best power and combat it with others. It pushed us to be creative and strategic, and most likely where my love for exploration came from. This experience aligns with my creative identity, since the game was grounded in respect for the rules, the people involved, and the scenarios that played out. When these apply, we create heartwarming memories that I would remember. At the time, this was the highlight of my year, and so it goes to show how meaningful it was to enact in this type of play. Another memory that came to my mind was an experience involving an online game of Minecraft. Minecraft is an independent video game that strives players into its simple sandbox game. It allows for creative freedom in its play, permitting the player to do anything they want within the boundaries of the game. It is the work that the user creates that produces a play. There is no work without play, and deciding what to work on in Minecraft is how you have fun. This is why many ages enjoy this game. Creative liberty is provided, and the foundations as a game elevate those ideas. What I enjoy most is what I can do in the game may be different from another player, and we can appreciate what we can accomplish and even cooperate with one another. I would be building a house while my friend is decorating the inside, making large landscapes, building kingdoms, scaling mountains, and obtaining loot. This type of play developed my flexibility by challenging what I can create, how to create it with others, and adapt to the items they provide, involving all those tasks with other players to test what they can accomplish. It is this sense of community that we build that Minecraft is known for. A sense of respecting each other's goals and accomplishments and continuing working together. It is these memories that relate to my creative identity and push me to replicate those types of play experiences. A type of play that would last many memories. Experimental goals and imaginative play and partial narratives. When it comes to imaginative play, the main goal is to explore different types of subjects that the player wants to explore. It is where their purest form of joy flourishes and creates stronger cognitive structures in social environments. This type of play also benefits emotional integration among other children and builds structure, allows for a stronger social standing as they grow up, as well as being creative. To me, imaginative play is a way for anyone to be free and creative. This leads to partial narratives since it was built on imaginative play. In Sutton Smith's narratives by children, you can see how they had fun with the knowledge they had. They provided cohesive stories that resonated with them, from dreams to stories they heard to complete randomness. These stories are rooted in having joy and excited to share them. This aligns with my creative identity because it is this respect that a child has to write something creative to share with others and have this creativity to explore. These stories can be further built upon and include others and have kindness and wisdom to share with everybody. These few specks of times we cherish to get forever are what imaginative play produce. Ludic and Pydic play experience. For imaginative play to exist, we must create an environment that enhances the play experience. Thus, ludic and Pydic features are required to be identified. For something to be ludic, it is to have game mechanics, some ideas that would be goals that change with every step achieved. Since imaginative play can forever evolve, it is important for the game design to have structure, but be able to grow with the game. These game mechanics are essentially to create a space that enhances imaginative play. There must be a set of rules to facilitate this play. I like to think that the game mechanics can change and alter depending on the play. Since it is imaginative play, the only thing that limits the player is themselves. The Pydic experience should only enhance the imaginative play. An example would be a play set such as a register or fake money. These items only elevate the level of play and replicate real-life objects. This coincides with enacting an imaginative play to prepare themselves for the future. The importance of Padia is these types of games allows for different forms of play and does not restrict it. If it is these spontaneous manifestations of play that are required for my experimental goals of play. Having respect for the environment and Having respect for the environment and to others is an important factor when having imaginative play. Conclusion. Understanding and learning about imaginative play allowed me to understand what goes through the development process of a child enacting this type of play. It creates a strong brain memory, invokes creativity, involves social skills, can escape the user from reality, and can inspire those to do the unimaginable. It requires the player to dream of the type of game they want to play, and that's something that speaks to my core, my identity. The veneration of the act of play and involving those around you to live to the fullest potential. Brian Sutton Smith's collection of stories allowed me to understand how I could use to think as a child growing up at each stage. These stories held a deeper meaning to the child of academic freedom and testing their creativity. The kindness that grows from imaginative play is something I know well. It fuels the potential of life, year after year. And my references, and that's pretty much it. So, thank you so much for listening.